to your house to ring your doorbell and just backhand you and get back in the car. Right.
but seriously, Phillip Rivers, and I think you just drew a great equation when you brought up Tony Romo. Phillip Rivers has done some amazing things at the quarterback position in San Diego. They just haven't won the big game. I mean, they hit their ceiling several times with Phillip Rivers as quarterback. But yeah, with the right personnel, like if Cleveland could, have the right pieces. I mean, Phillip Rivers he's still a good quarterback.
I mean, just think about what Buffalo's doing up there. Buffalo's got Matt Castle and E.J. Manuel. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. I mean, like some of these teams, man, are just a quarterback away. Even, depending on what the Jets do over the next month or so, a little over a month when the draft comes, depending on what they do, they're a quarterback away as well. So I think my man has kind of stepped back, took an overview of the landscape and said, Ryan Matthews is gone. I'm still here with Malcolm Floyd, but who else? Eddie Royal is gone. My line is getting picked apart. My defense, Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle's going to be a free agent at the same time as Phillip Rivers. I think is their best playmaker on defense. The white boy who plays safety, yeah, he's a hell of a playmaker. So Phillip Rivers is looking at all this stuff now and saying, okay, if I do that thing that I should do, or a lot of people would expect me to do, sign this $100 million extension or whatnot, but then when everything pans out, I'm left here holding the bag and everyone else bails. Yeah, it's going to look real shady. It's going to look bad. Like, I'm going to get paid, but it's going to be a bad look for me as far as my career projection goes. So, good for him. And I truly and honestly hope it works out for him because I am, right? I love when the players, actually take control of their own situations. You know what I mean? I love when that happens. I love that's why I love the NBA so much. Because the players are always in so much control. Like, the owners are always like, all right. Well, especially, except for when it comes to, like, negotiating CBAs and all that. That never works out for any player of any league.
Yeah.
But as far as their personal negotiations, as far as dudes getting their money, I'm good. Yeah, run that.
Now, and I know, we talked about Brett Favre the other day, and I know you feel some kind of way about, the antics that Brett Favre was doing in the offseason, those last few years that he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I will say is that when a quarterback like a Brett Favre, and I throw Phillip Rivers in that same kind of that category, a cagey veteran, that people could appreciate within the organization if they had the opportunity to sign him. If you have the ability to kind of be able to pick where you want to go, like how Brett Favre always wanted to go to Minnesota, but he ended up having to go to the Jets for a year in order for that whole thing to be able to play out. If Phillip Rivers is able to, if he can kind of pick his spot, if that kind of opportunity is available for him, it can actually turn out to be a really good thing because while Favre's career in Minnesota ended, terribly, that year that they went to the NFC Championship game, Brett Favre had the best season of his career. Well, and he was an old geezer.
Well, just to clear it up, like, that was never my problem with Brett Favre. My thing was him holding these franchises hostage.
That's what I'm saying during the offseason.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like, either pee or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Pee or get off the pot. Are you coming back or not? What's happening here? That was my problem. Like, no, play forever. If somebody's gonna cut you a check and you want to keep doing it and play for whoever you want, if you have the ability to play for whoever you want to, by all means, that's what free agency is all about. Do that.
Dude, who was that? What team was that? Was that last year? Was that the Titans? It was some team.
They tried to get paid Manning?
That was saying that they might be interested in bringing Brett Favre. I forgot what it might have been 2 years ago.
Yeah, all that stuff now, that Brett Favre stuff is anything in the last couple of years has been hyperbole. No one's been serious about ever calling Brett Favre to do any type of quarterbacking.
Whose quarterback court just got decimated.
Yeah, and Brett Favre is definitely out on the short list. That's all hyperbole.
I forgot what team that was. I forgot what team it was, but
yeah, stop falling for that.
Go Phillip Rivers.
We got about 10 minutes here, and I think I can get through this in 10 minutes, or not. If not, we'll just carry it over. But the other thing I was mad about yesterday that I forgot this article came out that the NFL says that Dr. Maroon, you say, who is Dr. Maroon? He's the guy who was basically telling everyone that this whole CTE thing is horse pucky. What do you mean? There's nothing about this. Yesterday. NFL Senior VP of Health and Safety Policy, Jeff Miller, appeared on PFT. This was Wednesday, as a matter of fact. He appeared on Pro Football Talk Live on NBC Sports Radio. And basically he said, Joe Maroon, not basically, this is a quote, Joe Maroon doesn't speak for the NFL, nor we for him, end quote. Quote, so a lot of people have a lot of important opinions on it. What's the NFL's position? What the NFL's position is that we need to act conservatively to make sure our players get the treatment that they need, that their injuries are identified when they are, and that we are acting in the best interest, and that's our position on the science. Yeah, that's a far cry from CTE is bullcrap. Thanks, Joe. Now we have to make a statement telling everyone, that we really don't feel that way because you, dumb butt, put your foot square off in your damn mouth. Now, and this is very important to understand why the NFL has to make sure that they don't take a hard stance either way. So today, I went kind of the extra mile today as far as this particular subject goes, and I'm probably not going to get through it in the last 8 minutes of this segment, so it's probably going to need to carry over into the next hour, which is cool. So I went back and started wondering, about the other end of the body, not the top half, but the bottom half, because obviously the NFL is much, much safer, right? That's what they tell us. That's what they keep telling us. NFL has never been safer. Okay. Last January, USA Today Sports surveyed 293 players on 20 NFL teams and asked what body part they were most concerned about injuring in the game. 46% said knees and other parts of their legs. Only 24% said the head. And the other 26%, probably a bunch of them from Liberty City, let me stop. I'm not going to do that to them boys. Another 26%, we ain't worried about none of this crap. We just play ball. Let's go. So that's the breakdown as of January, this past January. So not including this season, the 2013 season. They also asked players whether NFL rule changes on hits to the head had made the game safer. 39% said that they had. But the majority, 53%, said safety was about the same. And 8% said the game was less safe. There's that. So understand why the NFL has to continue to push this on you and push this narrative on you that the game is safer, because not even the people playing it believe that. 53%, the majority, are like, you must be crazy. No, that ain't a thing. NFL. Oh, now here's the part that I was really looking for, and when I was researching this stuff, I wanted to find out about knee injuries, because if it's safer, I need it to be all the way around safer, right? All right. So NFL teams, remember that part. NFL teams reported an average of 43 total ACL injuries a season from 2002 to 2012. Sunstone Analytics research says there have been 65 ACL injuries in 2013. Though that includes injuries suffered in spring practices, training camp, and preseason. Whatever, it's still a knee injury. Don't care when it happened. If you on the field and it happened during football. All right.
Right.
Now you guys remember you probably do the Dustin Keller hit and the kid from the Texans, Swearinger, how he just blew him up and tore his whole knee, 3 ligaments, broke his kneecap, totally shredded this kid's knee.
Yeah, everything came loose on the knee. Yeah. And
he said this: I'm sorry that it happened, but with the rules, I had to go low. And that's something that I'm going to start doing now. Just play within the rules. Big problem for the NFL, dude, because this
is... But, I remember a while ago, not to cut you off, but I remember a while ago when this whole, the new ruling on, the tackle protocol, and, you couldn't go high. And I remember, and I would give you your credit. I remember
thank you
said, well, if you can't go high, there's only leave one place to go.
Yeah.
And then you said that you were like, dudes gonna be getting the ACLs, MCLs, and you were saying that it was gonna result in more leg injuries versus head injuries.
Say goodbye to everything that ends with an L in your leg. Just say goodbye to it today. You got like dudes like Brandon Merriweather who don't care about their own. Like this dude knock himself out like every 3 weeks. He don't care. But he is one of those Liberty City boys as well, one of those Miami boys. So there's that. Yeah. Look, let me tell you something. All stereotypes come from somewhere, from some thread of truth. You know what I'm saying? So whatever. Now here's the part you got to understand. I told you guys earlier. Remember when I kept saying NFL teams, right? They provided a certain amount of information, but then the NFL provided this data to outside the lines, suggesting that the number of significant, there's a word there, significant. That's a matter of perspective, cuz. Like, if it happens to my knee, it's always significant. You know what I'm saying? But they choose to use the word. They suggested that the number of significant knee injuries, rather than increasing because of the rule changes, had actually declined slightly during the past 3 years, from 198 in 2011 to 190 last season. Really, no. The question I want to know is, what is a significant knee injury, sir? Is it like an MCL sprain is not as significant as an MCL tear? Like, where are we at? You know what I mean? A meniscus tear? You know, like, where are we at? Give me some definitions here so I know what parameters you working on. Because the thing I read at the beginning, it just said a total of ACL injuries, period. Whether you strained it, whether you sprained it, whether you tore it. If your ACL got touched, guess what? You're on the number. You're in the number. The NFL wants to come back and say, but the significant ones went down. Yeah. Ask Earl Campbell about significant knee injuries. That man can't walk now. You dig what I'm saying? He can't even walk. He's on a razor scooter. Or not a razor. What's them things called? Hover round.
Yeah.
The league also provided data showing that 25 players fined for hits on defenseless receivers in 2013 compared to 40 in 2012. So the amount of players that were fined, that money didn't go down, though. Believe that. They was like hitting dudes upside the head. I was like, what the hell? $100,000 for hitting somebody? You wonder why somebody gonna blow somebody's knee out. Like, I ain't giving my money back. Like, I'm gonna put you out for the season or your whole career, but I'm gonna keep my 100 G's in my pocket. That's how that's gonna work. And then when you got dudes on the field,
which is crazy.
Yeah, they think about their money. Bad look. Yep. Bad look, man. You know
what that is? That is, excuse me. That is essentially worse than anything that they ever said the Saints did during Bounty Game. Right?
Which we ended up finding out was a bunch of talk. It was a bunch of talk. Like, nothing ever happened. That's why Paul Tagliabue came in and said, no, all these dudes are off suspension immediately.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just like, that was just hearsay, right? But these rules, the way that the rules are structured now in the NFL when it comes to tackling, like, basically, it's one of those deals where, like you just said, I'm going to hit you high and I'm going to get fined. Or I can just go ahead and knock the hell out your legs and keep my money.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so technically, like I said, it's worse than anything they ever told us about the Saints and the Browns. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of putting your players in a situation where they're going to have to be forced to either choose and when you get hit high, you don't always get hurt. But when somebody is coming at you full speed with all of their force and hit you in your legs, guess what? Your legs only bend one way. One way.
And even if you do get hurt, you're going to be gone for 2 games at the most. You go through the concussion protocol, and they say,
right,
all right, you didn't pass the protocol. We'll sit you out this game. We'll do it again next week. And maybe you back after 1 game. You blow out that knee, yeah, good luck. Good luck. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned the strike zone and all the kind of stuff and where players can hit, because there's another angle to that. And we'll get to that at the beginning of the second hour of the show. We're running out of time here in this hour. Remember, this is the Sports Kings podcast, as heard on Spreaker.com. You guys make sure you hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at Sports Kings Live, as well as our email, sportskingslive@gmail.com. For any questions, concerns, you guys want a long-form writer, tell us how much you hate us or how much you love us. Either way, have at it. We don't take offense to either one of it. Or If you know anybody or if you yourself would like to sponsor the show, we do have some unbelievable rates. Just make sure you email us at sportskingslive@gmail.com, and we'll try our best to hook you up and have one hand scratch the other. We'll scratch our back and you scratch your